Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. I'm sitting down in the workshop this morning to do some personal journaling, art journaling, you know, in my personal journal. Let me move this fabric. What did I drop? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm kind of a mess this morning and all over the place, but I did want to turn the camera on and I'm just gonna journal. So please feel free to hang out. We have some coffee here. I love this journal and it is really getting full. Mary, this is the journal that you made and sent to me, and I've just added so many beautiful things. This is some fabric that I found recently. It was in an apron. I do have more, which I want to use. Let me grab it. So yeah, I found this in a thrift store and brought it home and washed it. I just think it's so pretty. So I'm going to use some of this, I believe, for a journal cover or to go in a journal. It's just beautiful fabric. And speaking of fabric, I found another fabric. I just listed 4 pieces of this in the shop, and here's what it looks like. This is by Tula Pink, and this collection, I think this is part of a collection called All Stars. I believe it's out of print. I know it's out of stock in a lot of places, and I'm definitely planning to use some of this to make a journal cover. I'll probably use this for my next personal journal. I've got my October daily currently, and not sure yet what I'm going to do about Christmas, but this could definitely be December, you know, if I want to get away from the fall colors at that point. But isn't that gorgeous? I had not seen Tula Pink's fabrics previously, and I'm so grateful that I found that fabric and just have been exposed to her exquisite fabrics. They're amazing. A lot of really fun fabrics. So you all might remember some of the work I've done in here. I keep going back and playing in pages that are already done. I might go back and add more journaling. This is funny. I accidentally sewed 2 pages together when I put this lace on. So to fix it, I just cut right up here. You can still read the entry, and it kind of makes, it almost looks like a little hiding place. And then I added a say only beautiful kind things to yourself. We all need that today, every day. So that's a card from a place that Jason played. This was just a pretty page in a recipe book. And sometimes I take beautiful items that I want to keep somehow and just clip them or, you know, fasten them somehow over a private journal entry. That way I can put my journals on camera, and when I come across something like that, I know that there's a page underneath that I don't really want to share on the channel. It might be something really personal. Like there is an entry under here. I love this old postcard, and I've got that paper clipped. This is just sort of just a messy page. I may even add more to this page. And this page has another just sort of messy page. Every once in a while, I will have this journal out and have a thought come through my mind, and I just write it. I want this page to be completely full of text, like the little books you see where there's just stuff written everywhere. So this is the second signature. I wrote chapter 2 here, and there's a piece of the beautiful, it looks like a cantaquilt, and that's a vintage one, I believe. A couple of the cards from the notched deck of cards. I really should try putting what I have left, together to see what kind of house it would make. And then I thought this was a fun way to have a little hiding spot for an entry. There's just a rusty paper clip that I didn't push all the way in, and I tied some lace to it. I sewed a button to this top page, and again, I have started adding paper to some areas where I sew because sewing sort of perforates the paper, and this seems to add some strength. Now in this case, I went ahead and made a pocket. The button is sewed to the corrugated cardboard and then sewn through the pocket actually. So there's a place just on each side for a chicken feather from the yard. And that's a beautiful old button. It feels like mother of pearl. So it does seem to sturdy things up a little bit. And that way I can just pull that here and I know that there's room for a private entry underneath. And I even thought about, let's see, where are my letter stamps? I think I'll go ahead and do it while we're talking. Thank you for all the comments on the Halloween journal. I'm so excited to start that journal, and I can't believe we're just, I mean, today and tomorrow, and then it is time for Halloween journaling to start. And I hope to have some time to get out and look at some of the things in the stores I have not been to. I haven't been to Michael's in a while, and that surprises me. I like to go in there, but I've been really busy. We've all been busy. Life is just busy. I do want to see what they have, though. They do tend to get some Halloween things in. Well, it looks like I'm just not gonna, there. I know that's not completely straight, but let's go ahead and put entry as well. And I haven't been to Hobby Lobby in ages and ages. I bet I haven't been to a Hobby Lobby in 2 years or more, because it's kind of a drive. It's like a good 30-minute drive over there. And I don't know, I just never seem to think about it when I get out. It's funny, usually when I think about going to Hobby Lobby, it's a Sunday afternoon, and they're not open on Sundays. Why am I like that? Let's put this away. All right, private entry. While that's drying, I'm going to have a little bit more coffee. And I like to just, sometimes if something's sitting out, I think, ooh, let's grab a little bit of that while we're here. This fossilized amber, kind of a bright yellow. That would be pretty with this blue. Maybe I got some on the feather. Wonder what that would do to the feather. Just wonder. Look at the feather, how it kind of repels. I guess it's supposed to do that. I noticed the chicken yesterday just totally, well, one of them started it. They got into the dust and just went crazy. I mean, and Jason asked, well, you know, what are they doing? And I said, it looks like they're taking a dust bath. Some animals have oil in their coats, and I think it can get out of control. I think the dust bath does something to control that. I might be wrong about that, but I think I read something about that even with like hamsters. You know, they need a little dirt bath in their cage, and they're from like my little Syrian hamster. You don't want to give them dust that's really, or dirt that's really dusty, because of their little lungs. I think they're susceptible to. That's pretty. I like that color. Let's go ahead. Oh, that, Jay, I love this napkin. So Jay and I recently did a napkin swap, and she sent me some beautiful pieces of fabric and some napkins, and I went ahead and did a whole page with this one. I love the way this page turned out as well. I had that washi tape that didn't really stick. I don't remember even what I was using it in, but I laid it out in a grid and then sprayed the whole page with the, I think I used the imitation vanilla extract, wherever it is. I'm looking for it on the desk. And here it is. And let it dry. And then when I pulled the tape up, it left a grid. It did pull some of the paper off. That's just an old rose petal and, of course, some lace sewn into place there. This is a piece of Sculpey that I had molded into, it's like got writing on it, and I was going to use it for something and ended up not using it. So I just glued it onto this page, put these, this page is kind of messy, but I had watched something about Marcus Aurelius. When worrying too much, remember what Marcus Aurelius taught about stoicism and not allowing worry to rule. History is always repeating itself. Do not let others' negative opinions and views affect you. Hear it and then ignore it. So he said, life is short. That's all there is to say. Get what you can from the present, thoughtfully, justly. And that's Marcus Aurelius. One of my sons has really started studying psychology and philosophy on his own. I mean, I had no idea he was so interested in that, but he's studied all of these different ancient philosophers, and he's talking to me about this and that, and it's just so interesting. Everything he tells me, I just kind of soak it up and say, wow, you're teaching me things I didn't know. This came out of a recipe book, and I bought the book just for these pages. I love these old, what is the word for that? Is it like a, it's an engraving almost, like a wood engraving, the way these pictures are done. I need to read more about it, but that's got that beautiful old Victorian look. And then I know there's an entry under here. I love this fabric. I think I included some of that in the fabric pack, and I have become much more aware of my need to keep a little bit of everything that I sell, whether it's just sticking it in a journal so that I can see it or using it somehow. That's a good way to kind of archive it and keep it. I've not done a good enough job with that. I love this saying here, sow a thought, reap an action, sow an action, reap a habit, sow a habit, reap a character, sow a character, reap a destiny. I don't know who said that originally, but I love that. I think about that a lot. It's interesting to look at people sometimes who are so deep in maybe a repetitive behavior that is self-destructive, or that destroys a relationship over time, or whatever it is, and you look at sometimes a situation or a person or a couple and you think, how did they get to that point? Sometimes a thought that's acted on will grow into a destiny, and I've had that in my own life. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm pointing a finger at myself, if anybody. We have to be really careful about the habits we develop. And I say that especially to myself. This is another napkin from Jay. I wanted a whole page of this. I printed out one of the original paintings that I did when I was practicing faces every day and put this here. I love that pink. More beautiful fabric. I did want to save some of the fabric from the fabric pack, and there's a personal entry under those. I think that's more of the beautiful napkin from Jay. And then getting over here, and then there's an entry under here and under here, and I just took a piece of that paper with I wanted to keep a piece of this as well with the pokeberry staining, and I stamped Birdsong Junk. I don't think, well, there is an entry under there. Oh, I think I wrote about the pokeberries on that page. And so I think the cigar fits perfectly with her. I really do. And I don't know what I'm going to do here. There is another one of the pages from the book with the cigars and the labels. And I'm getting really close to the end. I haven't done, a few more entries. It's going to really make this journal full. And so what is this? Okay, I made a pocket here. I found this in some ephemera, and I just love that. So that's put on with a brad, and I sewed, this is 2 layers of fabric so that the brad doesn't catch on the inside of the pocket. And again, I sewed a piece of paper here with everything else just to sturdy up that page, because you can see how the stitches pull. And I'm probably going to end up gluing, maybe make a collage over this page. And again, I've started just putting things on this desk or close to the desk that I want to keep. And I just go through and put it in the journal. Sometimes I do it in a way that is, you know, artsy and with a very focused thought process. And sometimes I just glue it in because I want to keep it. I think junk journaling is just a combination of all kinds of journaling. I'm going to go ahead and put that there to cover up that stitching. I want to leave that visible. So let's go back over here to the last place. And I like this hand-loomed in India. It's just an old tag from a fabric sample. And I know I want to keep that in here. Not sure yet if I will glue it or just keep it, but I'm going to stick it in here for now. I love that it says English Rose and hand-loomed in India. I do want those things to show. So why don't we make a page full of flowers here? And how do I want to do that? I think we'll just start with some petals. And maybe do a circle right in the center. Have a stem there and a couple of leaves. And let's do some dotted lines. I've really gotten into dashes and dots lately. And maybe a tulip-shaped flower. And they have really big leaves. So let's put that there. And maybe do one line right here. Bring that down right there. And maybe a little vine running through. With little leaves. And then maybe something like a rose. And we could have another, oh, I remember my mother drawing little flowers, something like this when I was, oh gosh, I was little enough to still be just sitting in her lap watching, and too young to even attempt it myself. But let's get some watercolor paint out. How much do I have left in here? Ooh, I can do this. Do I have a decent brush? Probably not. I need to get new brushes. That is something I really do need to get. just pull out a few things. I always go to the pink. And that pink is just about gone. So I'm going to also pull out some watercolor. No, I don't know if I want sparkly. I don't think I do right now. Let's pull these out. I think I may already have some of those out right here. Yes, I do. I got to be careful where I dip. I don't want to dip into my coffee. Oh, how pretty. Oops, I dropped some. We're not going to worry about that, though. Let me grab my paper towel. And that right there. Let's do... You know what? What color is that? So I'm going to blot that and then come back again because I feel like I want it to have more depth, I guess. I'm not a watercolor painter, but I do have fun. Let's put a little touch of that right there. Where's mine? There it is. And for this, I just for some reason want purple on here. There's not a lot of water on the brush. I think I was getting too much before. So maybe if I paint this way, it leaves more color in the center. But I do want to see what this looks like. Ooh. Pretty. Ooh, I like that. Now let's find another pink. This is a really pretty light pink. Crimson, it says. Well, maybe it's darker than it. I think I want it darker at the bottom and darker in the center of this rose here. Very light. I'm not getting what I want. Not from the thing, but from, you know, from the way I'm doing this. That's kind of pretty. I really should probably be using a different brush. This brush is curved from sitting in the water. Not good, I'm sure. Let's see what other pink is in here. Yeah, I think the next thing, my next big purchase is going to be some brushes. What color do I want those to be? Ooh, maybe. What does this look like? Now, I don't remember. Oh, I used a Sharpie, so the ink is not going to run this time. But I did like the way the little flowers turned out when we used the rollerball pen. So we're just going to be not going to worry on this stuff. I'm just going to put one dot of green in each leaf. Come back with some water, and then olive. Let's put this here. Ooh, that's a pretty color of green. Let's do that. And then a deeper, maybe a deeper green for the rose. And I think it's a lighter green for, let's go back to this olive green for the tulip. We might mix another color in there. I'm probably going to add some more to this page because you know how I am. That's kind of what I do, is keep coming back. But I love this start, and I set a timer for 30 minutes. I've already gone over. Isn't it crazy how fast time goes by when we're playing in our journals? It's just crazy to me. Wait, is that? That's a different one. That goes in there. What's that? That goes in there. Oh, there it is. I love these. Someone sent these to me, and I want you to know I love them. I appreciate it so much. I won't say any names. Thank you, though. So I think I'm going to stop there for now because I do have to move on to something else. Okay, that's enough for now. You can see I went around the edge with the ink pad. I love to do things like that. It ties these two pages together. I also don't mind if it goes over to the next pages. I think it just makes the journal flow by the time the journal is done. I'm going to stop because I have so many things that I need to do today. And I appreciate you hanging out. Please feel free to leave comments. I love hearing from all of you. Thank you so much. I will be back really soon. Bye for now.